establishment has been paid for by the New World Order.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. People are wondering who's going to be next. Don't call us, we'll call you. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? We are back at Around the MatPod. It is season 3. We got a lot to talk about here on the podcast this week. All things that happened last week, all in, all those good stuff, all the WWE stuff. But before we get to it, if you're watching with us live on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Help us out. Leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know your comments and thoughts on what we're talking about. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, don't forget to leave us a review and hit that follow button. That always helps us out as well. Reviews go a long way. And if you're on Spotify watching the video, don't forget to comment as well, because you can do that now. Kind of super weird, but if you're doing it, do that. So all those things. And don't forget to follow us on all social medias at AroundTheMatPod. We're super active on Instagram, super active on Twitter, but we're also on Facebook and on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts and all that shit. So don't forget to follow us there. I am at the PJ North, and we're going to get all into it. So let me bring in the big homie, Young T.Y., the elegant one, Tyler Miller. What's up, baby?
What's going on, PJ, man? It was a huge weekend of wrestling, and actually something that just kind of clicked to me as you were doing the intro there. Man, every day since we talked last week, there's been wrestling on, and
is that
it's been
not crazy as shit,
on.
dude? That's the crazy thing, is like there's always wrestling Monday through Friday. Like there's always wrestling. I'm not saying you can't see wrestling every day. You can, but like there's mainstream wrestling every day, Monday through Friday, right? Monday's Raw, Tuesday's NXT, Wednesday's Dynamite, Thursday's TNA, Friday SmackDown, and even Saturday's Collision. Sometimes Thursday's like there's stuff all the time. But like last week were like main events, like big time shit all weekend long into now. Basically, like all we've seen is like big stuff, things going on, which is kind of cool. I think that's the thing about wrestling that's cool, and not like something I love is like when you were a kid, if you didn't see Raw, you could watch Saturday and they would show you something, right? The Saturday, you know, whether it was Live Wire or, you know, Saturday Superstars or whatever it was, they were going to catch you up on what happened on Raw, right? Or vice versa on Nitro, right? They had other shows, Saturday night or worldwide. But now every show is just a recap of the show previously of what you missed, which is good and bad. Like if you watch Raw, you're going to see a SmackDown recap. If you watch SmackDown, you're going to see a Raw recap. Like they're going to tell you what happened. And so, like, you can stay in tune, but it's also easy to get like, oh, shit, when did we get to this point, right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, when did that happen? Which is okay. It's because it's easy to jump in and out if you're, like, a casual fan or whatever. So I think that there's a lot to say about that. So I'm glad you pointed that out because, yeah, man, wrestling nonstop, it's just crazy, dude. It's just unbelievable. I can't imagine, like, I shit on wrestling journalists because they're all idiots for the most part. The dirt sheets. However, good for them. Like right now at the peak of, I would say wrestling right now, like they're making more money, and the availability for journalists to make money in this sport is better than it's ever been. It's never been this before. So like, I guess good for them on that too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really agree with that point too. Just about anything nowadays, as far as getting like any notoriety, fame, anything like that, you know, with the internet. You can post stuff anywhere, you know, of course, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is.
Well, dude, like, look at the fact that, like, we have reactors that make, like, that, calling yourself a content creator and you react to wrestling videos is the dumbest shit of all time. I take it back. Dirt sheets are the dumbest shit of all time. This is the second dumbest shit of all time. Just like, however, sometimes I'm like, you gotta be, I can't believe I'm watching this, right? I find myself, and you watch a minute of it and you're like, I can't believe I just watched a minute of that. Suplex is a funny one, right? He's Sooplex or whatever, Suplex, that guy. And he did an all-in one, and I can't, like, I want to like him I'm sure he's like a great dude. The reactor thing is so dumb. Like, that's not, I don't know. I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating that they're making money. That's all well and good. Make your money however you're gonna make it. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get why people want to sit there and watch it actively a lot. I get seeing, like, clips, and that's fine, but, like, people watch reactors. Like, watch the whole thing. Why would you do that?
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of weird things that, like people are going live and just streaming the weirdest stuff. And, it's getting
it's crazy.
tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands of views, if not, some millions of views.
I'm still trying to figure out how
just,
Kai Cenat got famous. Like, why do people watch him and are intrigued by that?
Yeah, just, somebody, I get that it's a lot of it is the personality, but at the same time, I don't want to spend, time at my house or in my room, watching somebody in their house, in their room.
I just don't get it, man. I really don't. And maybe I'm old and like that's part of it too. So like whatever. But again, I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, man. I get it. I'm just saying I don't say that I get that they're hustling, they're doing their thing. Cool, whatever. They found an avenue. Great. I just don't understand that part of it, but it is what it is. We're going to get into it. Obviously, we're going to start with the headlines before we go over last weekend's grades, some things happening this week. First off, today they announced All In going back to London next year, August 30th, 2026. What's your thoughts on announcing pay-per-views like a year in advance like that? Are you a fan of that?
I think it's probably a good idea when you're talking like an All-In event, or like a WrestleMania event.
Sure.
I don't think it's necessary to, announce not B pay-per-views or B PLEs, but like the
just
not
as
the
main force. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think that's necessary to do that, which I've seen, WWE is kind of doing a lot of that now. Not necessarily a year or so in advance, but like, in 6 months we're, going back to Paris or wherever.
Going to Perth or whatever. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that the whole All In Texas thing, I think that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be cool for them to just kind of go around and see what they can do, see where they can fill up.
Yeah, I wish they would do more baseball stadiums for sure. Maybe as they do more American stuff, they'll do some of those. I thought it was really cool, and we'll talk about that later on as we get into All In. I just think, from an announcement perspective, it's cool, but I guess when it's out of the country, it's a planning thing, right? So now you're giving opportunity for all of us to plan a year in advance. I looked at it. I was like, I might do that. Like, that's kind of a cool opportunity
and for WWE, dude, I mean, as expensive as those tickets are nowadays, man, you got to let people know enough time in advance for,
dude, speaking
people
of that
want to stay well.
They just, in the group chat, just sent us, I guess there's a company called Vivo, or Fevo, Fevo, and they are selling combo tickets for SummerSlam. So SmackDown is in Newark, SummerSlam is in MetLife, Monday Night Raw is in Brooklyn. Okay, so they're there the whole weekend, 4 days. They're selling these tickets at like a much, much cheaper value than if you bought the combos originally from Ticketmaster. It is $770 for lower level seats for all 4 events. Not per ticket, for one ticket to all 4 events. And you get a souvenir ticket. So my thing is like, cool. Like, WWE obviously has, I would hope, has heard like, bruh, these prices are outrageous. Like, but I also think those 4 shows aren't selling as good, and so that's why they did this. But like I said, planning, like we talked about, like, I can't, dude, talking about WrestleMania, I was just talking about that with the guys. Like, I want to go next year. Obviously, it's in Vegas. It'll be cool, but like, it's going to be outrageous, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, I know, and what it cost this year, and things aren't going in the opposite direction. Things are only going up, so It's going to be at least what it was, if not more, next year.
Yeah, and that I just can't justify. So I don't know, man. I may be out on Mania. We'll see. Okay, yeah. So All In got announced. I'm excited. Obviously, it'll be cool. They're building to Forbidden Door, and we'll talk a little bit about that. That was one headline. The next headline, TNA. Slammiversary is this week, and the reason I brought this up is a ticket sales thing. I had the conversation with Miguel and folks as we were talking about ticket sales, and my thing is I don't care. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck if they sell 1 million tickets. I don't care. I do not care about any company's ticket sales. I don't care about their business model. I don't care. I like the entertainment. Why would I give a shit? I'm going to see Batman. I don't give a shit how much it costs to make. It's the same with WWE. I don't care how much. The business part of it does not intrigue me at all. So they were talking about TNA, and everyone's like, oh, look at all these tickets TNA are selling. I'm like, dude, that same type of thing that TNA might sell 5,000 tickets. Awesome for TNA. I like TNA, so good for them. However, the absolute tribalism and like just brain cells lost by human beings. The venue they're in is like 16,000 person venue. When AEW was doing that, everyone shit on it. So why is it a win for TNA and not a win? Like, why does it matter? Like, it is a win for TNA. Good for TNA. Because I was there when they couldn't put 150 or 200 in fucking Nashville. Okay, I was there and it was not good. So like, it's awesome, but at the same time, like, why are we talking about it all the time? And have you even seen anything about Slam? I mean, do you know anything about Slammiversary at all?
The really only thing I've seen about Slammiversary isn't AJ and Trick fighting.
Well, AJ's not yet. I don't think he's announced. It's AJ and I think Mike Santana. So from Santana and Ortiz.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's gonna be a pretty decent match. But that was a great analogy, dude. Like you said, going to the movies. I don't care how many people are sitting in the movie theater with me. I don't care how much it costs to make, as long as it doesn't obviously show me on the screen like this is a super low budget movie. You wasted your $30 or whatever it is for the ticket. At that point, then I would be frustrated. If I go to a show and it doesn't really matter how many people are in the crowd, if I'm having a good time and they're putting on, good action, then, it's a good time.
Yeah, I think that's the thing for me is it's like, I just don't care. And so like, I'm not going to shit on them selling 5,000 tickets. It's awesome. Good for them, dude. But like, I hope it goes well. Like I said, so looking at the card right now, it's Trick Williams. Here's my other big issue with that is the NXT thing. So in the chat, I asked them, like, what are your... I think that I don't know that it's going to end well for TNA other than if WWE buys them, and that's fine. But, like, where are they going to put them? They have NXT. What is TNA then? Like, I understand they bought AAA. AAA's in a different country. We're not talking about Triple. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't quite understand what it is, but either way, I don't know that it's a good thing for them in the long run. I don't know if it really is. Now, TNA has always been that like collaborative company who works with they've always been that. New Japan, Global Force, like they've always done these things. So I get it, but their main event is Trick Williams, who is an NXT superstar, as your champion, versus Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. Now, again, when they did this with AEW and Kenny Omega was the champion, I understood what they were doing. I still don't know that I thought it was like the best thing ever. And I just don't know if this is also the best. I don't know where this is going. But Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, Santana, that's their main event. Then they've got Masha Slamovich versus JC Jane, another NXT versus TNA thing. Then you've got Trey Miguel. You've got a 4-way tag team ladder match, which should be awesome. No NXT people in that one. No NXT in the next one. Okay, so the only NXT are the ones at the top, which is wild, right? Because like that's your two main events.
Yeah, which is probably one of the bigger reasons that those tickets are probably moving. And everybody is I would say usually TNA fans are hardcore, more so of a hardcore wrestling style fan.
1,000%.
And I'm sure they're seeing the dirt sheet stuff too. Like I just mentioned, I saw that AJ was going to be in that match and he was going to be there.
And he might
be.
There's word on that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people are buying tickets just off based on that alone.
Sure.
Hoping like, yeah, hey, maybe we'll get to see, maybe AJ's last TNA run or last TNA match.
Yeah. That makes sense. And like I said, good for them, man. I think it'll be interesting. It is, I believe, this Sunday. July 20th, right? That's Sunday, I think. Yeah. So on pay-per-view and on TNA Plus, which TNA Plus is still the best bang for your buck. Like, they're the only wrestling company that has a streaming that has all of their stuff in one place, which is pretty cool. So also their YouTube is undefeated. It's got so much shit on it. So if you like TNA, which I do, old TNA, I watch that a lot. So, all right, last headline. WWE Unreal on Netflix. Trailer came out today. Look, man, I think I'm excited about it just because it's wrestling content on Netflix. It'll be cool, but like, and I don't. Everyone's like, we're pulling the curtain back. I'm like, look, brother, reality TV isn't real, and neither is this. Okay, it might be like it might be not scripted, but it's not unguardrailed. Like, there's gonna be guardrails there to like, they're not gonna have. If there's a fight that you see, chances are it's staged a little bit, right? Like in the backstage, they're arguing. Like, it's going to be a little staged. At least that's what I perceive. Do I care? Nah, it should be good either way. So I'm kind of cool with it. But what's your thoughts on the whole thing? Do you think it's too far inside baseball, or are you excited about it?
I don't think is it supposed to be a series, right? It's not just supposed to be a one-off.
It's a series, yeah.
So I think it would probably be better as a one-off, kind of a movie or a documentary style type of film versus a series. You know,
like similar to WWE 24 or whatever.
Exactly. Something that would, kind of do it a little bit, but at the same time, I don't need to see, every step of the way on, how, I guess John Cena turning heel. I guess that'd be pretty interesting to hear the back conversation on that. But like some of the smaller moments, it's like, I don't need to hear about that. Let the show be the show. But I do think it will be pretty cool to, see how like the writers come to an agreement on, what the final product is.
Yeah. And then how it gets turned from being what the writers write to what it actually makes.
Exactly. Yeah. To seeing that to, be a live action movie, right on TV. But I don't think that, a full series is going to be beneficial. They might get a few more eyes because that's exactly what they're trying to do is just, get some more eyes.
100%, dude. They're like, how can we draw more people into this shit, right?
Exactly. They're trying to, get some people like, oh, let me check this wrestling stuff out, see what it's like actually behind the scenes.
1,000%.
We'll see. And I think WWE's trying at this point to do too much to get that brand new eye on their product. Do
you ever think that they're like do you think that they're like overdoing like all the content? It's too much content where it's like it's going to dry out and people aren't going to be interested in it because it's so readily available?
Yeah, no, I definitely 100% think that. Yeah. And, they got their whole list of podcasts being advertised now.
Now they got Impulsive. I just saw they signed Impulsive.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Or the Logan Paul thing. That's crazy, dude. Like I said, man, for me, it is. I think it's cool. Like, I do think it's a little far inside baseball, but it's not It's not inside baseball because I want to keep the magic of it. It's inside baseball in the sense of like, does it help? And I guess I don't really care if it helps the business to a certain extent. Do I really care about that? But my question would be like, does it help the business? Or what does this do? Are people going to be more interested to watch it because they know it's staged more? Like, obviously it's staged. Everyone knows that it's scripted. We know it's predetermined, all that shit. But, like, are people going to watch more? I don't know. I also think that it's also, like, telling kids Santa's not real before they need to know that Santa's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little early. I don't know if kids watch it. So I don't know. Like I said, it'll be cool either way. It's interesting. The trailer was funny to see it. It was interesting, the Cody stuff and CM Punk and all this. So we'll see how it goes. I think it starts. It's next week.
It's one of the things where you just like got to figure out where to put your money at, is it, like you said, is this going to be beneficial? Are you going to see a big, return on investment of building and filming a whole Netflix show and documentary or docuseries?
Yep.
And like, what is that really going to do for you in the long run? And even if you do get a few fans that pick it up, are you going to hook them? Are you going to, get them to continue to watch based off of what they see? There's very, very few reality shows that are, like I said, everybody knows they're fake, but they're not pulling back the curtain and say, like, this is how, we come to the conclusion.
People still think Survivor is real.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand. I mean, people still think that. So, we'll see. It comes out July 29th on Netflix, obviously. I was just, that's what I was looking at on my phone, trying to see what the date was. So, interesting enough that that'll happen. So shout out to Jeremy. Jeremy, thanks for watching live with us. He must be a big TY fan, which we love that, man. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Before we get into the next stuff, what's your next live wrestling event you're going to? Do you have anything planned?
I actually saw a show down in Roanoke. I think on the 9th. It's a collision show, so nothing major or anything. But I'm pretty sure it was the week you're down in Richmond. So
sick. Okay.
Might pop over.
Might make a little weekend of it. I love it.
Absolutely.
What? That would be amazing, man. So it's a collision.
Yeah, it is a collision on. I think it's on the 9th, Saturday, August 9th.
Okay, the 9th. I might have to just tell them they got to hurry up so we can go to the show. You know, we got to hurry up. All right. Well, let's get into the main some of the main topics of the week. First off, WWE weekend. Obviously, Great American Bash. I didn't see a single second or a single clip from it, which is crazy because I always see everything. Like it's normally popular. So that tells me one thing about it, which we'll get into. WWE Saturday night's main event. I'll be honest with you. I saw 2 clips. And then Evolution, I saw most of it. We were at the airport. Overarching, I'll give my quick feedback. Again, Great American Bash, I can't give feedback on because I didn't see. I take it back. I did see 1 clip, and I made a joke to Mario about it. That damn, I didn't know AEW Dark was on because it was like a Ricky Saints and Ethan Page clip, which whatever. Obviously, I'm sure they tore the house down or whatever, but so I didn't see Great American Bash. Saturday night's main event, I saw the Seth injury, which sucks. The Jelly Roll Logan Paul, I did see some of those clips. We could talk a little bit about that, but like whatever. The Goldberg thing though is the main thing from that. What do you take away? Well, let me go through my grades first for that. So I didn't see Great American Bash. Saturday night's main event, I would give it a C. Only because I didn't get to watch it live, and so the clips took away from it. So then when I did watch it, I didn't. It's hard. I shouldn't give it a grade, actually. I shouldn't even give it a C because I didn't watch it live, so that's not even really fair. Evolution, I would give an A. The way that they presented it, they did a great job. Good for them. I didn't think she was going to win the Battle Royal, but good for her. I really do wish that Lash Legend would have, though, just to, like, really put her over. Like, I understand Stephanie's already a star. Like, Lash really could have used that win. I also, again, Becky Lynch, whatever, dude. I'm just over it. I can't stand it. I don't enjoy it. Not her personally. I just don't like her wrestler character. And I don't care for Lyra either. So yeah, I was kind of over that, but I thought it was an A show. I thought they did a great job. I really liked the pacing of that show. They did such a great job versus their other PLEs lately. And I saw someone comment that and I was like, dang, I noticed it, but I didn't really consciously notice it. And that guy commented, I was like, damn, that's what that was. It was just like better paced, kind of a little bit better feel. So that's my feeling on the weekend. We'll talk about individual things, but before, what are your thoughts on the weekend as a whole?
So for Great American Bash, same thing, man. I didn't watch a whole lot of it. Didn't really see any of it, clips or anything. So definitely don't feel like that's fair to grade something like that. I would like to go back and watch the Ricky Saints and Ethan Page match because they were two of my favorites in AEW, and when they were off TV for a while, I'm like, man, just bring these guys back. They're stars. Develop them into stars, and stop pushing all the WWE guys and go from there.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to. We'll probably check that match out for sure. Saturday night's main event. I'll be honest. I watched most of or every bit of All In, so it ran.
You're probably fatigued for sure. Yeah.
Which I think was on purpose, but that's
I would have
another...
too. I'd have sent that shit another hour.
Absolutely, that's another story. But I definitely saw the Seth Rollins injury. That was nasty.
It didn't even look that bad, but like, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seth's such
And
a star.
I actually was watching Stevie Richards' show last night, and he was breaking down like in slow mo, like where it happened at, and you know, how it happened. But it really sucks for him, man. They're saying, of course, what I've seen, it's not as serious as what they're leading it up to be.
Yeah, he was on the Rich Eisen show, and someone tried to say it was a work, and I was like, I don't know about all that, but okay.
Yeah, and I mean, you could even tell L.A. Knight looked kind of like puzzled a little bit, like
the fact
he wasn't
that
sure.
L.A. Knight won should tell you guys something.
Exactly, dude.
no,
when
no
I
LA
saw it
Knight,
happen,
but like,
yeah, when I saw it happen and I saw him hit his finisher, I was like, man, is he about to win? No, this is definitely a false finish here. And it was just very awkward. You know, the whole final move, the pin, all of it just felt really weird. And it sucks for Seth because, you know, I feel like they were kind of going up. They kind of had some tension going there with him and Braun Breaker, and I think that was going to be interesting. But the Goldberg thing, I don't know, man.
As a WCW guy, man, you know, like, what's your thought on that?
Yeah. I think that, and I've seen a lot of people saying it, you know, is this, you know, WWE's one last jab to WCW?
Brother,
I don't
what
think
are we even fighting? That to happen, it was 25 years ago.
Yeah. And of course, I'm sure you saw the stuff with Peter Rosenberg, you know, talking trash.
I saw every single wrestling pundit have an opinion that was like, yo, fuck you, Goldberg. You didn't even deserve that, basically, is what it felt like to me. And I was like, y'all were just praising this. Y'all were begging for him to be on. Yeah, we're so thankful Goldberg's back. And it's like, y'all's flipping now? Because he's mad that he didn't get us. Y'all are flipping on him now. Y'all wanted this. This was great for TV. This is the best thing. They needed it. And now all of a sudden y'all flipping on him? Nah, that's soft as baby shit. I thought all that was like cornball as fuck. I saw Dave LaGreca have like the most opinion about it, and I'm like, he's allowed to have an opinion that he's upset that he didn't get it. I'm not saying Goldberg's right. I'm saying he's allowed to have an opinion. It ain't like he's motherfuck Triple H on live TV. Yeah. Like, what are y'all mad about?
Yeah, dude. And I think that, you know, like, did he deserve, like, I mean, I guess as a veteran like that, someone who's been in the business for, you know, 20, 30 plus years or whatever, I do think that, you know, you at least give them the damn time to have a speech to send them off.
Especially when y'all built him up that way. You're mad at him for him having an ego, and y'all made it that way.
Exactly, dude. And something else that was that he was mentioning on the Ariel Helwani show is, you know, that the lead up to the match was what, like 3 weeks, something like that. And of course, you had the really subtle spot. Where, you know, Gunther got in his son's face and all that stuff, you know, months ago.
That was that Bad Blood. Like, that was so long ago.
Exactly. You know, and unfortunately, I mean, Goldberg, like, I'm sure he's got to really understand and realize the programs are not lasting that long anymore. You know, you're not having to build up for, you know, 6 months anymore and in the same rivalry very often. And these shows, man, like the PLEs that they're pumping out is ridiculous. Like, they'll have a PLE and then 2 to 3 weeks later they have another one. And it's like, how much build can you really have for
you can't get a build because there's not enough time in between it to certain things. So like you have to have matches. My thing was they send him out there 3 weeks, then he puts on this banger match, which I don't know if it was technically a banger, but it was, for him, it's a long match.
For Goldberg, yeah, for sure.
And everyone is in the chat talking about like, oh, he had his best match, he looked incredible. And then the very next day when he gives his theory, y'all are mad about it. So like, I don't know, man, that's a lose-lose situation for him, but he also doesn't fucking need the money or need whatever. So it's like, okay, he got a send off in Atlanta and like, cool. I don't know what happens from there.
Yeah, man, and both me and you know that, and not to be, you know, too much one-sided. You know, he sees things on online, and it's like, if you want to send off, man, go to AEW. Right. They'll treat you right. Baby.
Yeah, you want that Sting treatment, brother? Yep. You got to go where you know. Again, I think. I don't know. I don't know that I care as much. I do think it sucks for him, obviously, to not get the send off that he wanted. I think he probably is enough legend in the business to probably get that. He's really only a legend because of the undefeated streak really made him, right? But he was a WCW product that they made, and like he was a star there, and he was in a lot of movies after that and did a lot of shit after that. But not everyone's like, he ain't Taker or Goldberg, and it's like, okay, what the who compared him to Taker or Taker or Cena? I was like, who compared him to Taker or Cena? Except for the IWC.
You got to look with WWE. They've even modeled people off of Bill Goldberg and tried to make the next Goldberg. And it's
everybody does the fucking spear now. Isn't that what they're doing?
Yeah, and I mean, you couldn't give the guy, a 5-10 minute speech at the end of the show. You tried to bite his gimmick for, not
ever.
Forever, but like you've tried to make
for 20 some years they have. For 24 years they've been trying to bite it, for sure.
Yeah. And something else that really doesn't help Goldberg's favor is the event the night after completely crushed it, and that was an A+ show with Evolution.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, not to sound any type of way, but like your retirement match got overshadowed by the women's pay-per-view.
It was always going to get overshadowed by it. It was never about the match, and I think that's the big pertinent thing is like, if he wanted something else, did he express that, and did they tell him? My thing is like, was he told one thing and then he got a different? That's shitty. Do I think that their one job in the production truck is to time that shit? It is. Yeah. So like, did he miss the count or did they miss the count, or what happened? Like, again, and that's why I think it's so crazy is that.
And if it is a timing thing, dude, like that's probably, that's your selling point of that event, of Saturday night's main event, was Goldberg and Gunther. And it's like, that should be, you should trim time off of other matches.
He should have tapped it. He should have tapped at 18 minutes. And then he had a 2-minute send off on TV if that's what he wanted, I guess. But at the same time, I do feel bad for him if it was cut short, and like, he has a right to be mad. That's my thing. He has a right to say whatever he wants about it. And everyone's like, oh, fuck him. He should be, he doesn't even deserve what he got. And I'm like, y'all were literally 24 hours less than this. Y'all were talking about how much you loved it. So like, that's the shit I hate. Is like, his version is always going to be diluted, and the IWC is going to be the IWC, say what they want about it. I don't know, man. He's a lot. Now, if he comes out in 2 weeks and all of a sudden he's like, yo, just mother F everybody and this is what happened, like, okay, this is a whole different animal. So who knows? But yeah, Goldberg, man, tough break.
And honestly, once I saw that Ariel Helwani interview and saw how unhappy Goldberg was, expressing that he was, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I would not be surprised for him to pop up in AEW and get that.
I don't really want that. I don't need him.
I don't either, but I could see it like, man, this is not what I wanted.
He's not a wrestler. He's not a wrestler. He is a sports entertainer. He is not a wrestler. So like, yeah, I would not want that. It doesn't bring eyes to it, I don't think. And like, I don't think it's a good idea, but it would, who knows what we're going to get, right?
And Tony Khan. I mean, Tony Khan, he's the biggest mark of them all. He'd be like, right. come on in.
No, I don't. We'll see what happens. Last question about Evolution. What was your favorite match on Evolution?
Man, the main event was really good. And the whole thing with Naomi cashing in, Amazing. She talked about it on Raw. She had everybody fooled thinking she was going for Tiffany, and I was one of them. I was definitely thinking she might have potentially got the belt off of Tiffany, and then her and Jade would fight, but it shocked me. So I was happy to see.
I thought it was very similar to the Seth thing. Seth lost to RKO at Mania, then he cashes in later that night. Naomi loses to Jade, same thing, right? So
yep.
I thought it was great. I thought the main event was awesome too. Io is unbelievable. So is Rhea. Like, Rhea facially does stuff that makes you're like, damn, I believe everything she's selling me right now. So I thought that was great. But I actually like Naomi cashing in. Good for her, man. She deserves it. She's done a great job as a heel, which I love too. So I was excited for her there. And I thought that was probably the best match for sure as well. And that was my most favorite as well too. So
And talking about reinventing yourself, man, that like you just said, Naomi has done incredible and probably one of the biggest turnarounds I've seen in wrestling in a long
1,000%,
time.
dude. Yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, man, WWE as a whole, like I said, I thought they did it was a weekend. I think AEW won the weekend, and so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the All In grades. First off, I'll tell you, we got down to Dallas Friday and we took it all in. We went to, I will say a few bad things. StarCast, I don't do pictures or autographs. That's not really my thing. Like standing in line, do the pictures or photo ops or meet and greets. That's not really my thing. So I went to StarCast because the first StarCast I went to had a shit ton of vendors, all types of shit. This one had one vendor and like a couple card shops, and that was it. And so I was really disappointed in that. I was upset because I paid like $100 in tickets, or probably more than that, probably $120 in tickets. And there was one vendor, High Spots, and they did have cool shit, don't get me wrong, but like I ended up buying I don't know if you can see it. There's a Great Muta right there. And I did buy a signed Great Muta poster because I thought that would be cool as shit. It's actually him as Kiji Muta, his unabashed self, the master. But I was like, why was there not more vendors? Unless I missed something, StarCast, please let me know. But I thought that sucked. I like the panels things. Those were cool. But I was pretty disappointed in StarCast in the sense of like, it wasn't what it was before when I went. So I guess I was expecting to be able to.
The lines were super long and said
just
something
like
about
in general.
the AC where they were holding it.
Oh, so not that the AC didn't work, but all the doors were fucking open all the time. And it's 1,000 degrees in Texas. So it was miserable hot. Too many people in that venue, in that hotel for sure. But it was hot, but it wasn't that bad. And the lines were not long. I stood in line, the general admission line, to get my band, and it wasn't that bad. I was mad, however, about the Kazuchika Okada figure that they announced while I was on the plane. And I get off the plane, and I didn't know that they were going to be there, or I would have maybe waited. But I thought they were going to sell out. So then I get there, and they did have 2 or 3, or I don't know how many left, but they had 2 or 3 on the hangers. And I was like, I had already bought it to ship to me, and it hasn't shipped to me yet. It's been a week. AEW, where are we at? That
thing sold out quick too, dude. Because when you texted me,
it did sell out.
Oh yeah, it got sold out not too long after you had told me you got one. I went to the site just to see, because I was like, man, those Chase figures they go pretty quick.
Yeah.
No, it was already gone.
Okay. Well, then I don't feel so bad about buying it online. I will say this is always an AEW thing. AEW with the merch, they struggle, man. They are the worst run merch to be a t-shirt company that sells wrestling, as everybody says. From a merch perspective, they are terrible. The lines are terrible. The management of it is terrible. Dude, there are companies in Nashville who do this for a living. All they do is merch. Hire one. I'm begging you guys. Hire one. They will take care of it.
If I remember right, it's just like a crowd of people, and there's like next.
Bro, it's worse. When we got to the stadium, the line was crazy long, and they're like zigzagging out, but there's no like ropes to tell you. Dude, it was crazy. I would say Tank stood in line for like a good hour and a half. Man. Like, it was crazy, dude. So those were the bads, right? That's the bad. The merch has always been bad, though. It's always been that way. They just don't have it figured out. And I am knocking you to say I don't have the answer, but there are companies that do. I promise you, there's a bunch of as doing it on the road for musicians, there is a way to do it better. So it's available. If y'all are listening, y'all should go out and do it. That's the first part. The best parts of it, though, man, I went to Ring of Honor. It was awesome. I enjoyed it thoroughly. We sat on the floor. It was in the esports arena, which was a really cool venue there. And the stage was cool when they walked in. And Konosuke Takeshita and Bandito had probably the best match, not like the greatest stories and all the bullshit. It's just the best actual match I've probably ever seen live. Wow. It was unbelievable, dude. It was low-key like live, like in person. I've seen a lot of good matches, I think, live. Like, I used to go to Ring of Honor a lot, so I saw a lot of cool shit. But like, this was definitely like the best match I've probably ever seen live. It was crazy, dude. I until we went obviously Saturday, and then we saw stories that so like that's the thing is like they didn't have a story. They had a little bit of a story, but not like the same, right, as you got with Omega and Okada and Moxley and Hangman. So Friday was awesome. It was cool. I really enjoyed Ring of Honor. Saturday, what did we do? Oh, we kind of went around a couple different places. We went to like a vintage toy store there. They were a little high price, so it was outrageous. That wasn't really worth it, but they just kind of hung out, right? And then we go to All In, and I parked at the Sheraton in the auxiliary lot, which was free, so it didn't cost me to park. So I'm already ahead at this point. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you don't find that very often.
Dog. So it was great, and we were like 0.7 mile, like it was 3/4 of a mile to the stadium. So we walked there. It wasn't a big deal. We got in there. Here's my this was the last bad thing I'll say. Globe Life Field is a bunch of bullshit with their food and drink, dude. I paid, I'm not kidding you, the first drink I got a double sugar-free Red Bull vodka, right? I'm diabetic, just before anybody says anything, that's why. It was $27. Okay? Yeah, so I'm like, okay, sucks, whatever. I'm probably going to have another, though, later on. So I get another one, and I go to a different area because we're down on so our seats were, if you're sitting in the first base side, like you're going to a baseball game, you're on the first base line, we're 3 rows up from the wall. So we're right there. We're on the wall, which was awesome. My second drink was $35, dude.
Same drink?
Same drink. Different area.
Man.
I've never been more, because you can't tell, like, I've already he's made it. I can't tell him, hey, fuck you, I'm not paying that. Like, he's already made it. And yeah. I was like, are you, dude, and the food obnoxiously priced. It was stupid. I was like, that's my only caveat about the whole thing. F you to Globe Life Field and the Texas Rangers organization for charging people that. I know a lot of stadiums are going backwards, like Mercedes-Benz has gone backwards and some of these other ones. I was like, this is bullshit, dude. So lame, bro. It was ridiculous. Okay, now all the goods. That's not me being nitpicky or complaining. That's just bullshit. Like, those things that I mentioned are bullshit. The best parts, though, dude, All In was unbelievable. To be there live. We didn't see the opening match. We got there shortly after 0 Hour kicked off, so we were there for like 6 hours or some shit. My wife enjoyed it to like as much as she can enjoy wrestling. She felt like it was paced really well. She enjoys people watching, obviously, like most significant others that go. But she enjoyed it a lot. Her favorite match was Toni Storm and Monet, which she said that ahead of time it was going to be her favorite, and I agreed. I was like, I'm excited for that too. But the whole pay-per-view, man, felt awesome. I really enjoyed the pay-per-view. I will say I like Dustin Rhodes. I did not enjoy him winning over Kyle Fletcher, but I felt bad for Adam Cole. That whole thing was like a whirlwind. It happened as we're walking to the stadium. We find out that he can't wrestle. Like, a lot of shit going on. We're like, wait, what? So a lot of things happening there. I didn't necessarily enjoy that match. Was whatever. Everything else, though, was top tier. The women's gauntlet match was cool. I liked the pacing of it. The weird thing was, every time a woman's thing every time two women like did like a standoff thing, like when Aminata and Tekla were both doing their thing not Aminata, was it Tekla? And I forget who it was in the ring, but they were doing like a cool thing. And then all 4 women there were 8 women in the ring, and 4 of them all were doing different submissions on the ring.
Yeah.
As soon as those cool things were happening, the clock started and someone was getting ready to come out. So people were immediately looking to the tunnel. And I was like, that's shitty. That felt like you could have waited another 4 seconds while that finished and then started the counter. But I felt like that was a little weird. I don't know why that stuck out to me, but like that did. And then obviously, man, seeing Okada and Omega live was obviously, being an Okada fan, like him being my favorite wrestler, you know, it was awesome to see that live. Cause like I'm never gonna see that in Japan and Tokyo Dome. I'm never gonna get to go Wrestle Kingdom 11. It was awesome. That was really, really cool to see. Electric feel. And then that pop for not only Toni Storm, That pop was unbelievable. That's the loudest pop I've ever heard. The Cody return at Mania is like 1A. Like, it's in the top 3 for me that I've been a part of live. But that Toni Storm, when she won, was awesome. But when Hangman won, I'm not kidding you, dude. I thought legit the roof was going to blow off that place. That's the segments that were happening during the match, the Danielson thing, the Darby Allin thing. Like, dude, that literally everybody's going ape shit the whole time. It was crazy.
You could really feel it too, like as somebody sitting at home watching, and which is crazy, and it really shows just how good those 3 main events were, because you guys went through a 6-hour pay-per-view, and some people even longer with pre-shows and all that, and to be able to show those types of reactions where you're as a fan feeling it at home,
that's what I was gonna ask. So tell me from a watching live on pay-per-view, what did it feel like for you?
Dude, honestly, I honestly think it was probably one of the best pay-per-views I've ever watched from top to bottom.
I said the same thing, yeah.
The Dustin Rhodes thing, I could have probably done without that. It really sucks that,
especially because he already had wrestled. He had already wrestled. Like, I appreciate the storyline thing that they did, but like, he'd already wrestled on the 0 hour. So, like, why? You couldn't find 2 other people in backstage?
Yeah, and then wrestled at the night before at Ring of Honor.
Which was a pretty cool match, too, him and Guevara. I can't believe I'm admitting that, but...
Now AEW's pretty much getting accused of abusing senior citizens with wrestling 3 times in 24 hours.
I know, that's right.
But I could have done without that, but I do think that it was a pretty cool way to bring the crowd up when they were so down, when Adam Cole announced that, because you could feel that too, man. That was sad. So I was expecting retirement.
That's when I went to get a drink when he had come out. I thought he was just going to be like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I'm injured, blah. But I'm like in line. I'm like, oh shit, what's happening right now? Like, this is a big deal. I was like, oh. And then and everyone's like, oh shit, okay. It was crazy.
Yeah, that was like I said, I was expecting a retirement, like this is it. I'm obviously glad that he kind of left it hanging in the air, hopeful for a return.
Yeah.
But I think that it was really cool how they, I would have preferred Kyle Fletcher to win. But I think it was really cool how they,
the whole pool that we did. So
oh man,
even when I still asked everybody, hey, does everybody want Fletcher to win? And everyone still said yes.
When you look at the other participants in the match,
I was like, oh, this guarantees Fletcher's going to win. This guarantees Fletcher's going to win.
But I think it was really cool how they,
they pulled the swerve on all of us. They pulled the swerve on all of us. It was cool.
Up, kind of gave people that feel-good moment of Dustin Rhodes getting that singles title, which we know in his career, it's kind of evaded him.
It's his first since 1998.
Yeah, see, man, And Dustin Rhodes, he's done a lot, or Gold Dust, whatever you want to say. Like he especially with Gold Dust, he did a lot with a shitty gimmick, and has been relevant ever since, which is interesting.
He has been, his career is such a weird arc, which is amazing because obviously I liked him as the Natural, and I was a hit. I like I've told this story a bunch. I rented, WCW Halloween Havoc when him and Wyndham broke up. And, like, I was a Natural fan watching, obviously, after, like, I loved. And so, for a long time, I was a young kid. I didn't even know he was Gold Dust. I never put that together until, like, much later. Probably much later than I should have. But, like, I had no idea. Yeah, man, just like but his career arc is so wild. And so, like, to see him get it in the end, yes, great. But, like, I could have done without the match for sure.
Yeah, and I do think that it's going to be something where he probably drops it pretty soon. I think, Tony Khan gave him that moment. And like I said, it was a cool way to bring the crowd up from a low.
Yeah.
Kind of moving on to the Okada and Kenny match, man. That was, like you said, you really can't find much better wrestling than that, like, anywhere in the world. Like,
I thought they did a great job not doing the full Wrestle Kingdom thing, making it Americanized and making it interesting. Like they did he kept he kept dropping the elbow on the gut and kept doing the different stuff. And they slow played it at first, which was very cool. Then they picked up the pace, which was awesome.
Yeah. And I think I would have preferred, of course I get Don Callis as a heel manager. I would have preferred if maybe there was a brief distraction, but him pulling the ref out of there, I think he should have stayed, pretty far away from that match and
Sure.
let them, do their thing. But like you said, that's little nitpicky stuff.
I will say that since you mentioned that, I thought it added a little bit of a layer to it. And I will tell you one funny thing that Mario said in the chat. Mario was like, it is 99% Kenny Omega fans in this arena, but I could still hear you, PJ, as the one Okada fan. Because I may have been, when Okada won, I may have been the only person cheer. I mean, everyone was Omega there. His entrance was awesome. It was electric. It was cool. But I'm the only one. I mean, I'm standing up doing the Rainmaker pose. I'm like yelling, dude. It was because it was like that's a cool thing for me. Like, obviously, when Okada wins the world title, that's gonna be a big deal. Very similar to when Cody won the world title. I was there at Mania, and it was very. Just as a fan, like, I haven't got to see a lot of championships in my life as like a true fan of that wrestler, or in any sport, right? Like I told you, like it was when the Thunder won the world title in basketball. Like that's a big deal for me as being a fan, having never seen the Thunder or the Sonics win a title. Right, so it's really cool to be that fan. Same with Michigan to win the national championship 2 years ago is like such a thing for me as a fan, having witnessed only one other one my entire life. So like to have a fandom thing like Cody win, and then to see Okada win this, and like I think seeing Okada win a world title will be something I really, you know what I mean? Like it'll be that same thing for me, and that's kind of how I felt in the moment, which is like weird to say that about wrestling because it's predetermined. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But the gauntlet matches, the women's match, I think they could have probably done something different to determine, maybe a number one contender. But I do understand it's the big show of the year. You're trying to get everybody out there.
Do you wish they did like maybe like the double or nothing chip, the ladder that they used to do?
Yeah. Something to kind of to break it up, switch it up a little bit. The men's match, I really like that one. The storylines, like it was like it's a gauntlet match, but there was storyline in it, which everybody knows AEW isn't as much of a storyline based product as what WWE
I think
is.
they tell it differently. I agree. Yeah, that's fair.
And for them to bring everybody out, and for the ending to have really kind of boiled down to that storyline between Mark Briscoe and MJF, I thought that was really cool. How they did that, and it's something you don't see from AEW all the time. So a guy like me who's super big into the storyline aspect of it, I was like, man, can super appreciate that.
What was your thoughts on the wrestlers kind of getting their shit in during the gauntlet intro? Everybody said Mystico, this guy did a full ass entrance before he ever did anything. He's doing a full ass entrance, flexing and all types of shit. I was like, hey man, Mystico got to get his shit in, my guy. It's a large Latina contingent of fans in Texas where we were, so there were a lot of people singing along to his song too, which I thought was really awesome, to kind of show that like how big of a star he actually is, right, as Mystico. I thought that was really cool too. I do have a question before you talk about the main event. What was it like could you tell the fans were into it? Because I heard differing things that maybe it didn't sound great on TV. Like from a fan, like the fans weren't loud enough. And I was like, yeah, Mania suffered that same thing being in a stadium. It suffers for sure. Did you notice that for AEW?
You could start to notice it a little bit. But a 6 hour pay-per-view, that's going to happen where, I think that if you, as far as AEW, Tony Khan would have trimmed some of the matches down by just a bit, or maybe even taken out the TNT title match altogether, just because it felt like something that was so thrown together last minute, which it obviously was.
Yeah.
I think if you trim some of those matches down, you have and I mean, obviously you were there, most of everybody was on their feet screaming, cheering for the last three matches pretty consistently, but you would have had everybody constant standing for three straight matches if you would have, trimmed down just a little bit. Now, was Tony Khan trying to stretch it out to run into Saturday night's main event? I absolutely think so.
I would too. Send it out there. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So, you could tell at certain parts, it was like, man, you know, they don't seem as into it.
Yeah.
But when that event, you know, the 3 main events come around, you're like, oh, okay, this is a hot crowd for sure.
I felt like I felt like it still paced okay. It wasn't like it didn't feel long being there. Like it really didn't.
Yeah.
I thought all the storylines kind of resolved themselves in different places, and I thought that was good too. Obviously, what was your favorite match? Is it Moxley and because you're obviously a hardcore, you know, deathmatch guy. Was that your favorite match? Do you think it did that match justice?
Yeah, definitely. I do think that the way that they told the story, you know, a lot of people who don't like the hardcore deathmatch style, you know, think that, and some of it's just hardcore for the sake of hardcore and bleeding just for the sake of bleeding. But I think that, you know, they really told the story really well with the Texas deathmatch. You know, they brought out an array of different types of weapons. I think they did really, really well with it. And then of course you have all the run-ins, you know, that really help tell the story.
It was just like a perfect amount of run-ins.
Absolutely. And you know, the story of Swerve giving the chain to, you know, quote unquote hang Moxley, man, like
the subtleties, man. I mean, yeah.
That is you know, that's WWE-esque type storytelling right there. And when I saw that, I was like, man, if AEW can catch on and do this shit, like this is where it's at. Obviously, I know AEW is not gonna go full-fledged into that, but if you keep that around with, of course, you know, that alternative style that you started out with, I think that is gonna, you know, bring people and also keep your current people as well. But I think my favorite match was probably the Swerve Strickland and Ospreay versus the Young Bucks.
Yeah, that tag team match, dude. The place was going nuts for it too, dude. Like we were so into the idea of that, and like, you know, there's that one part of the match where they're all doing shit to each other, and then they fight. Yeah, dude, the place was going nuts, and I thought like, holy shit, I wasn't even prepared for that. So yeah, it's just a crazy thing. Like how many matches were so good, and we haven't even talked about all of them. Like, we didn't even talk about the tag team match where Nick Wayne turns on Christian and then Edge comes out. Like, yeah, just so much crazy shit. Like, it's just electric vibes.
And there's the storytelling from top to bottom. You know, every single match.
Every match had stories. Something. Exactly.
Everything had something. And, I mean, when you – obviously, WWE does it a little bit, but they more so build off of, you know, stuff that happens in the Rumble. But I mean, they had storytelling and developing storylines inside of a gauntlet match, and I was like, man, that's pretty damn good.
I think that they're zeroed in on what they consider storytelling. It's not the soap opera thing as much as it is the like the pre-tape stuff that they do that really matches it, and then they filter in these like little nuanced things that you have to really pay attention to get. Like I didn't notice the Hangman babyface thing tunnel until I saw it online, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even put two and two together, right? Like he was the camera was focused on the villain tunnel, and then they realized he's coming out of the babyface tunnel because he had been a bad guy, right? Technically, he's kind of a tweener or whatever. And so like that little thing, and I was like, damn, that does add, I think it just adds to it, and the lore of the whole event feels really good, you know, moving forward. I think they have a lot of world title guys still. I think they have a lot of I still think they need to get rid of some titles like the trios belts. I think they should get rid of those, and I don't think the Ring of Honor title should be on TV as much.
Very subtle things for me, like the when they opened the briefcase up and they still had Bryan Danielson
plates on it. Dude, when they opened that briefcase, literally the crowd was going nuts. Dude, it was crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like for me, like it's just little things like that. As a fan, like I appreciate those little things so much. Like it's like a mystery type TV. Like you got to put all the pieces together and make it make sense for yourself.
That's the beauty of pro wrestling, man. All that stuff. Overall, what would you give the pay-per-view?
Man, I'd give it an A++. I don't think they could have done just about anything any better.
Yep.
And to run a 6-hour pay-per-view, and
it's the longest pay-per-view of all time.
Yep. And I'm sitting here when I'm like, damn, it's over. Like I'm trying to watch some more.
That's what we said. I was like, damn, I wish They're match right now. Like shit.
I mean, hell, that could still be going on till today. And I mean, I probably still enjoy it.
Yeah. Obviously, my favorite match is Okada Omega, just because Okada fan. But I just
did you expect Tony Storm to beat?
I did,
Mercedes?
man. I picked Tony. Yeah, I expected it because all the talk about Mercedes creative control, all that shit, and they did the right thing. Just like WWE should have had Bayley beat Becky. If they were smart, they would have done that on Evolution. That should have been the time. But I understand now why they didn't change the title, because they're going to do Becky and Bayley at SummerSlam and do some shit, whatever, and that's fine. But yeah, dude, they did the right thing. Tony Storm deserved to win. Not that Mercedes Mercedes is a star. She just didn't need to win that match. Tony just won that title back. She hasn't had a ton of defenses like that matter. That one mattered. And I think it just was awesome for TV. Athena, I think, too, is like a star, too, and that brings her in the mix with Mercedes. And she's done a great job building herself. She's been champ of Ring of Honor world champ for like 3 years. I thought she was going to lose on – if she would have lost Friday, I would have picked her to win the gauntlet. But because she won Friday, I was like, oh, there's no way she wins the gauntlet. I thought for sure it was going to be Megan Bayne or somebody else. But then I also realized shortly that Megan Bayne was same entrant as MJF, and I realized I lost. I was like, damn it. So that sucked. I would say the only negative from the weekend was Miguel winning the pool. I can't believe that I let Miguel win the AEW pool. What an absolute nightmare that was. He returned the favor of all the texts I've sent him after I've won. So deservedly so. He beat us. So yeah, man, A++ as well. But so yeah. Well, we've reached an hour, man. We've talked all the wrestling last weekend. I think we'll get into more next week. We'll talk all about it as we continue on. They are on the road to Forbidden Door for AEW, and we are on the road to SummerSlam for WWE. Obviously, I'm interested to see what happens at TNA Slammiversary on Sunday. I'll probably tune in, to be honest with you. I'll watch it and see what happens, just to see if AJ Styles does wrestle. And I'd like to see how they're presented on TV, because I do like TNA and I like a lot of stuff they're doing. So we'll see how that kind of. What'd
you think about AEW's venue last night, man? I was super impressed.
I'm glad that you brought that up. We'll talk about this last. I would say I loved it. And I'll say Raj Giri sucks. The first thing he did is shit on it, and like the first thing all those guys do is shit on it. And here's my thing. AEW, from a weekly show, has provided different venues with wrestling. They don't need to sell 13,000 tickets weekly to make money. They have a TV deal that makes money. So put on the best show you can. They're at a residency in Chicago for a week plus, which is cool as shit. Good for them. The venue was awesome. It looked good. The details were good. I don't understand why we care how many tickets they sold.
Yeah. So, that, and man, the crowd was super loud. Yeah. I don't know if it was the way the building is structured or not, but man, and like aesthetically, it didn't look like a wrestling
super
show
pleasing.
Was supposed to be there, and right. I like that. I think that's super cool.
100%.
And if you continue to do stuff like that, I feel like that's only gonna help you out. And
the next time you go back, then you can go back to the Now Arena and you can do different shit. Like, they're there for a week. They're not gonna sell 13,000 tickets a day if they have it at the Now Arena. Like, that's where I'm most like. I just don't think that they understand. Like, Chicago's a wrestling town. They love it. I thought it was cool. Speaking of Dynamite as a whole, I thought the show was great, and I like the way they continued different. I like the way they created new storylines, and I like the way they continued existing the Darby Allin, John Moxley things. Someone put it, and I think it was Juice or maybe I forget who put it online, but they basically said, like, we don't have, the world champion doesn't have to disappear after they lose. And I was like, damn, that's a good way to put it. Like, I didn't think about that. So, like, Darby versus Moxley at All Out in Toronto, like, that's 100% should happen. And then you build the next Hangman thing. Like, you don't have to go right into a Hangman story with somebody right away. There's plenty to, like, let that breathe. He's a babyface champion. Let it breathe for a minute. And then
I'm kind of on the other end of that, man. I was actually thinking, I don't like the fact of I'm not saying Moxley has to pull the Roman and go away for 6 months, But I don't necessarily, especially in a Texas death match either. You know, they're beat up.
Sure.
They're showing that they're beat up.
So you thought he shouldn't have wrestled right away?
Maybe a week or come out and cut a promo,
That's
or
fair.
maybe give it a week or so, and it's like, okay, you know, because it leaves fans wondering, like, when is John? Like, I want to hear what Moxley's going to say after he got beat and have the title. So I feel like at least if you give it that 1 week buffer, I think it, you know, probably tries to attract a little bit more. Like, oh,
Makes
I wonder
sense.
what he's going to say.
Yeah, that's a fair
But
way
definitely
to
not
look
the
at
Roman thing. The 6 months, like, man, come on.
Yeah, man, fuck Roman. We're not even talking about that bullshit. I don't care that he came back.
Yeah, I forgot all
I
about
don't
that too.
even give a shit that he came back. That's how little I give a shit. Yeah, dude.
What a great way to end on.
Yeah, what a great way to end on. F Roman Reigns, always. Roman sucks, always. Yeah, man, I agree with that. I didn't think about that from a Moxley perspective. I did think it was weird that they were doing the 6-man, but I'm like, man, Tony Khan's for the sickos, so here we are. My favorite part, though, was Swerve and Okada. I thought that was cool, that they're going to start a little thing up. Maybe Forbidden Door, we're going to wrestle for the unified title. My only thing is, Swerve can't lose. Swerve should be the next world champion after whoever like, he's either going to turn heel or do whatever, but I can't have Swerve lose. So I really don't want him to face Okada.
AEW does that a lot, though, dude. I feel like they do put up a lot of
because they want to put on the
like,
best matches. They don't care about the losses as much as it's almost like their people can stand to lose. I don't want to see it, but at the same time, like, it's almost like they've managed to take L's. Like Ospreay, like, he's lost a lot, but we don't talk about his losses. We just talk about how good his matches are.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that, you know, that is something they put two superstars, main eventers, and it's like, oh shit.
Yep.
Who wins? Where do we go?
So I guess we'll find out next week. Join us, obviously, next Thursday. We'll talk all things wrestling, and we'll continue to go around the mat. Until next time, TY, thanks for joining us, brother. And
thanks for having me.
We'll do it all again next time. Until next time, like I said, when we go around